Welcome back to Brothers in Boots. My name is Mike.
My name is Jeff.
And today we have a boot unboxing for you. This is a gentleman named Nathan sent us his boots to unbox on video. So we'll start with Jeff. What are you drinking?
Some Four Roses, a private pick I did, some OESF, and year 4 months. Still on?
Yep.
I can't see me. So
It must have dinged off. I'll take care of it in a minute. And then I have a unique one. This is a 11-year rare character exceptional series. I can't remember what this series is called. It's either like exceptional cut or exceptional knife or something. It's a 63% single barrel.
it's been real popular lately.
Most of the rare character stuff is pretty good. I've had some kind of... I've had good luck. A buddy of mine has had a couple stinkers, but he also picked up some malted stuff, and neither me or him like malted very much, so... Who would have thunk, right? Alrighty. Is everybody excited? Yeah, this is kind of a special pair, too.
Special note for Nathan, Frank and Michelle. Leave that for him. Instruction sheet. Ooh. Lower that for a second. The nice bags now.
Yeah. And for everyone wondering, there is a reason behind the bags you'll see here in just a second. We have an idea of what these are, so we're not completely blind.
All right.
Looks like some chocolate crocodile.
Alligator.
Oh, is that one actually alligator?
These are alligator. These are on the 5163 last, which is brand new last for Frank's. There's no toe shape associated with it, but it's between a 1 and a 2.
Yeah, it's definitely an almond dressy toe. I'd say it's pretty close to their 2, but it's a dressier last. It's a high arch last.
It's a nice
yeah.
Really nice look. It's a nice low profile. That's classy. Really nice looking. Am I showing up on the screen right?
Yep. Yeah, we're good.
Because I still can't see anything.
Oh, let me see if I can fix that. Hold on. Try it now. You see me now?
Well, I can see you just fine.
Sorry. Can you see it now? I haven't even had a drink of it yet, and I'm already can't even talk.
All right. Well, whatever.
Right.
Just tell me if I'm going off screen.
Yeah, sure. No
so
problem.
It's a Norwegian hand welt.
Yep.
They did the Norwegian hand welt. The welt is actually cinnamon waxed flesh so that it would match the best. Of course, it's also going to wear the most. So I think in this case, I would probably use Lincoln wax and natural on it before it gets too out of hand so that it stays looking nice and doesn't scuff up.
Yeah. It's an interesting choice. I'm kind of surprised they didn't go with like a brown Chrome XL to avoid kind of the... I mean, Jeff can easily see this, and it's going to come across on camera, but it'll be really visible to his eye. The rolled cinnamon wax flesh kind of has a crunchiness, I guess, for lack of a better word to it. It's got a different texture than what you would expect to the eye. Crunchy is the only way I can quantify that. Does that sound right? Or maybe fuzzy? Is maybe fuzzy the right word?
I I wouldn't use crunchy. It's more
Gritty?
well, it's more textured.
Yeah, maybe gritty. Maybe gritty's the right word.
It came out great.
Yeah.
He did single row, which I think was a great choice.
The best
usually
choice for this kind of pair.
We usually see double, but definitely single row is the right choice on this model. The clicking is awesome. I mean, the way that they chose the different pieces, it's just perfect. I mean, I can't, they were really, really trying hard when they cut this out to make sure that the pieces are right. The groove is kind of right down the middle there.
Yeah, making all the panels interesting too on top of it.
Unbelievable. Antique hardware, which is totally the right choice. Great color. Usually not my choice on a heel, but I think that's the perfect heel for this boot as well.
Yeah, I'm glad he went with a dogger there instead of like a true packer, because that is a kind of a packer-ish last. I could see the thinking about maybe going with a packer, but I think dogger makes more sense. It's got a more elegant look to it.
They did the nails in the bottom. A lot of builders will skip that and not do that. I mean, yeah, it's just for looks, but definitely appreciated.
It's a throwback to a different era when glue wasn't as good.
Clicking is just beautiful with this pair. Everything is perfect.
Stitching looks pretty, from what I can see in the video, the stitching looks pretty good overall too.
Yeah, I try not to look really close on the stitching. I hate to be a little too picky. Since you mentioned it, all the stitching is absolutely perfect. Absolutely nothing is out of place. Everything is.
Like I said, it looks real good on camera, so I can only imagine it looks better in person.
Gusset even matches pretty well. He's got. I gave him the dressy aces. He's got. Oh wow, they did really nice on these kilties too. They gave him 2 sets of kilties.
Oh, there you go. Okay, yeah. And they look like they're backed in something as well.
They stitched. Well, you can see it better on the backside, but they stitched around each one of them. A really good job there. Fantastic. Just beautiful.
And it makes sense as an exotic. You want something to kind of strengthen it, because in between the scales will be kind of weak. And as a kiltie flexes a little bit more than some of the other parts of the boot, you will not want a kiltie to not be backed in an exotic leather.
Frank's boots, you destroyed this. You did so incredible. I mean, wow. I'm probably not coming across very well right now and pausing and stuff too much, but it's just because my mind is so blown. Just a totally perfect boot. These will wear fantastic. Talk about a lifetime boot.
Yeah. Only thing I'm a little confused by is, and maybe he told you, why the white Dr. Souls outsoles with this build?
Why the what?
White Dr. Souls outsoles.
I don't know. You think you would have done brown?
Yeah, I think so. Because brown really, because that's a deep red chocolate color, and the red brown outsole is kind of perfect for that.
You got a good point. I like the cream. I think it was a good choice. The circles match.
Fair enough. It's just one of the things that like I don't know. It was just that's the one thing I've been sitting here thinking is like, what was the thought process behind the white? I mean, I'm sure there was a thought process behind the white. You don't go head first into a build like this without thinking all this through. So there was probably a reason. I'm struggling to no, because he didn't do white stitching in the uppers. He only did the white outsole stitch.
To an extent, I suppose it's to be different. It's probably not a color you can get away with on very many. And since it looks good, it would be a time to choose it.
Yeah, I can see that.
I like the choice. If it was me personally, it's what I would have picked. I think it gives it more personality. I think brown would have blended in too much. This sets off without standing out too much.
I can see that. I think if I would have done it this way, I think I would have probably did white upper stitching too to go with it, personally. I don't think it would have stuck out much more, and it would have kind of centered everything a little bit more.
That'd have been a tough call for me. I hear you. Obviously, I choose a lot of white stitching. I do like contrast. With this leather, I hate to call away from it with the stitching.
I could see that, but I think at the same time, I don't know. That's the one part that I'm struggling to come to Jesus with is the white outsole without like white upper stitching or something like that. But now the circles, yeah.
I love that, and they nailed it on all four sides.
Yeah. One thing I do want to call out here, and it's kind of come across the camera a couple times, but at some point, this color is so much richer and deeper than it looks on camera. There is so many different shades of yellow and brown that come through in it that are only kind of coming through. Like, see, now that Jeff's kind of bumping up the brightness there a smidge, you can kind of see it a little bit. But like, this is a very three-dimensional color. Like this is not like a 2D Chrome XL. This is a very three-dimensional color. Or really any oversaturated oil. Yeah, well, with the texturing it is, but I mean, it just in color tone, it's very three-dimensional. Like, it's not like an oversaturated oiled leather or how'd you explain that? Like anything that's like mill-tanned, where it's just like a top oil. Like a really good example of that as a non-three-dimensional color would be like a medium brown Wicket and Craig English Bridle or Harness is a very two-dimensional color. This is not that. Three-dimensional colors, different angles give you different views of the leather. You see yellows, you see browns, you see reds. I see right there, as he rotated the boot, it was very obvious at different areas that like what is red, what is brown, what is yellow. Just lots of undertones coming through at different angles. Yeah. Very, very three-dimensional color. One thing I want to compliment here, and this is a really big thing. Thank fucking God he did not do this in black. I could very easily see the urge to do this color in black, especially a leather that's kind of as loud as this one. Good on you, Nathan, for not doing this in black.
I agree. And I lean towards black on everything. This is a perfect color. Yeah, this is a perfect color. I think black would have been a mistake as well.
Yeah, it's one of those realities. Yep. Let's get a good shot of the backstay, because the backstay's got a very unique look too, because they used a different bit of a clicking for the backstay cover. So as you can see, the backstays actually have two slightly different shapes colliding, where you have on the left side some of the more of the symmetrical, I'm going to say scales for lack of a better word, and then you get some of the kind of just more parallelogram based scales on the other side of it, which is just got a very good transition in them. Hold it still for kind of just a second there, Jeff. The internet seemed to have blipped a little bit and we lost quality for a second. I don't know if Discord servers are slow today. There we go. That one looks more like turtle skin, I'm gonna be honest. Like that specific backstay on that one, I think more turtle skin than I think alligator, just kind of looking at it front row.
I guess some of it's because of the threads.
It is. It's just and also the specific symmetrical shape it was cut in helps to kind of make the symmetrical nature of it pop too. Because you notice like the heel counters don't look like that at all, even though it's a symmetrical shape, but because it's a different symmetrical shape.
It's still speechless. Unbelievable. I would want leather laces if it was me instead of the dress laces.
You know what? Here's a good opportunity for him to get a pair that matches better in color anyway, and it's just a standard rawhide pair. He can get him like a nice pair of like Guarded Goods pure brown laces this way.
Just perfect. I mean, everything the way that I would have wanted to spec it. They even stopped with the stitching in the waist.
Yeah,
which I really like. I think you seem to like it when the stitching goes all the way through here, but I don't. I think it looks a lot cleaner without.
I don't mind it blind. I don't mind it visible. I just think structurally the boot's a little better that way. That's personally why I like it. But I once again, I don't look at the bottom of my stuff very often, so I'm not quite as worried about that area. It is what it is. Now, one of the things that it stands out to me as well is, we haven't talked much about this last. This is a newer last, but maybe because it gives me cowboy boot vibes to a certain extent, I do think this is the kind of last to do this leather in. So this is an exotic leather, obviously, for those who don't know. And, these exotic leathers oftentimes don't have like a tannery name behind them. A lot of times they're done via distributors that, they could actually have hides from various tanneries. You see this a lot in ostrich, where a lot of ostrich hides aren't named by the tannery. And Frank's does use a distributor for a lot of these exotic leathers, so we don't have a tannery name for the specific leather, but just understand this is actually pretty common in the exotic game. Cowboy boot makers are the same way. You see this quite a bit from that perspective.
I didn't mention it probably doesn't show very easily, but of course they're lined.
Actually,
it's a really nice smooth calf skin on the inside.
Yeah, no, they can see it. You can also see it real well on the edges too, that it's doubled up in a lot of places. And once again, it's an exotic. It pretty much has to be lined. You can see it in a lot of the cross-sectional areas going up and down the lacing area where you can see it's got multiple layers. You can see one for the tongue, one for the exterior, and one for the liner just going down the side of the boot.
And they are full length, which I didn't mention, but they are full length. Which again is what I would have done.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, they're just fantastic. Nathan, incredible. Frank's, incredible. Everybody worked really, really hard on making sure that these boots were absolutely perfect.
Absolutely. I'm sure someone's going to ask, this would have been a terrible leather to do a welt in, that Norwegian roll welt. They would not have done it in this leather. There's a number of problems with getting it to roll. It's the same reason there's not a rolled top on this. This is not a leather you would do some of those accessories in. It doesn't flex right. You're going to get hard points. It would not look good, and it also wouldn't be very durable either.
I didn't ask him if he chose the rolled, but I'm sure that it was not a choice given to him. I'm sure that this pair had to be rolled.
Yeah, it would not have. The stitch down, flared out stitch down would have had a number of problems too, because it would have been hard to make that transition. Like if you go towards the pull loop, I'm sure people have noticed the pull loops look quite thick. As you can tell, they've definitely been heavily reinforced on the pull loops just due to the fact that it's an exotic leather. You see the same thing with like ostrich.
And I guess it would be a good one. I mean, we mentioned it, but we didn't say this like specifically. But this is a good situation to be able to show someone a rolled welt for someone who doesn't have a trained eye to be able to know what it is, because the leather is different. So you can very easily tell which part is the leather welt. On most boots, it's the same leather. So it comes together, and if you're not looking closely enough, it's harder to tell whether it's a stitch down or whether it's a Norwegian welt.
Yeah, it's very obvious.
Comes across real nice on these. There are some very rare examples out there. Like there's some like natural boots where they've chosen a black welt. So there are some where people have gone out of their way to show it, but it's very, very rare. I think that's all coming through real well on the camera.
Yeah, no, it's very visible. And like I said, given the fact that it's a waxed flesh too, makes it even more obvious. Let's see, let Jeff get the kind of other kilty in it. I'm not as big of a fan of that one. I think I like the other one better. Like I know it's kind of got that kind of Packer boot look, but I think I like the other one better.
I'm always a casual fan anyway.
It's fair enough. I don't think either of us use any fringed kilties at all.
No, I don't. I have a few so that I have the choice, but
never chosen.
I'm not running any. I don't.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I think I have a couple sitting around, but yeah. Now, some of the stuff that is going to be unique to exotic style builds, because we don't really talk a lot about exotic leathers. Like obviously, this is not a hard use boot. If anyone couldn't have already guessed, this is not exactly the boot you drag through the mud, you walk over sharp volcanic rock or anything like that. It is going to be lined. It's probably a fairly thick liner. And that's just because some of these exotics need reinforced in spots where the pieces meet. As you can see, all of the scaled areas have high levels of cartilage in between the scales, and that's where the main flex points are. That's what dries out. This will be oiled with something like a Saphir Reptide or Reptan or whatever, which is reptile tanned hide. We mentioned it earlier, but you will not see tanneries usually with names on this. There's various reasons as to why. A lot of it comes down to PETA stuff. They just, it's just a distributor that carries, tanned alligator, tanned elephant, tanned giraffe, whatever, tanned rhino. These days, African wildebeest is real common because it's a good alternative that people don't get mad about that looks just like elephant.
All right. So, let's see, we mentioned the last number. I guess we might not have mentioned that that's a brand new last for Frank's. The 5163. It's a brand new last that they have brought in. There is no toe number. those toe numbers are just like kind of guidelines for people that aren't geeky enough to want to memorize last numbers to go from the fancier, pointier toe to the more bulky, larger toe. Let's see, so their typical number 1 is a 5812, and their number 2 is a 5332. So this is neither one of those. This is like off menu, I guess, like the 4811.
Yeah, it's going to be very similar to a number 2. It's going to have a little shorter tote box. The shape is, for lack of a word, more almond or more elegant than your standard number 2 on the 5332.
I don't know what else to say. It's going to be a really short episode.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, overall, it's a fantastic build. You know, when you get into these exotics, there's extra steps involved with them. You know, they need liners, as you can see clearly. They can't. You know, he didn't just choose to have a kiltie that was backed. It has to be backed. You can't just make a kiltie out of alligator. It's not going to last. So there are extras that come with it, which obviously is going to increase, you know, the cost. This is not going to be a particularly cheap build. This is kind of one of those boots that you build as your, you know, Saturday going out boots, right? You know, it's going to be in shell cordovan numbers.
I think this is the fanciest pinnacle boot that Frank's has ever done.
It's got to be up there. There's a couple ostriches that get kind of close, but ostrich is a lot tougher and actually could be used for work.
Yeah, there's a chocolate colored ostrich that they did. I believe it was in a monkey recently that looked incredible. That was definitely way up there as well. God, man, that's just perfect. Nathan, it's a good thing that you don't wear the same size as me.
Might not be getting those back. I mean, like I said, in that note, like this for all of those that are interested in something like this, if you're a cowboy boot guy, but you can never get a good pair of cowboy boots that fit, like this is your alternative, right? Like this is your way to do something like that without having to go full pull on. I don't know if that was his thought process behind this build, but it very easily could be. Like, how would you make this pair slightly more dressy? Simple. Leather outsole instead of a Dr. Soul's half sole. You can still do the Dr. Soul's heel, but just do a leather outsole. And, you know, you could always, instead of a natural edge, do one of their colored edges. You for a pair of dress shoes, you are going to want to polish it up a little bit more when you get it. You will want to get a little bit more of a mirror shine on it, because they won't quite send it out that polished, kind of dressy levels of polished.
Yeah.
But
you could polish the edges, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And say Nathan wanted to do that, he could still do it here. Like, fastest way to do this, if you wanted to keep the natural edge but kind of, you know, mirror shine it up, is, you know, hit it with a little 320 grit sandpaper when he gets it, Tolkanol burnish in 3 layers, and then some Saphir mirror, and then either some Lincoln wax or Pat Deluxe on top for a little bit more waterproofness. Bam, you're gonna have a real shiny, dressy pair of edges. No problem.
Get yourself some bootcut jeans and you won't even see an eyelet. So nobody will be able to tell that it's not a cowboy boot.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Fantastic. All right. Got to get these things in the mail to Nathan.
Yep. I hope you like them, Nathan. They turned out great.
Thank you for delaying your happiness for another week so that we could take a look at these and do a video. Hope we did well. Hope you're happy with the unboxing. And actually, you'll get the boots before you'll see the video. Now that I think about it,
yep.
We just did a video today, so this will be in 2 weeks. And so you'll have had these for about a week by the time you watch the video.
As long as you're not in a state that has a UPS strike going on.
I'll ask him if he wants me to privately send him the video ahead of time.
Okay, that works for me.
Give him that choice so he can decide whether he wants the boots first or whether he wants to watch it ahead of time first.
Okay, I'll have to get the quick edits in. So, cool deal. Alrighty, well, thanks everyone for watching. We do appreciate it. Nathan, I hope you liked the boots. They turned out fantastic. Once again, thank you, dear Jesus in heaven, for not going with black, because that would have been the easy cop out here that would not have worked as well.
Bravo. And, to everybody at Frank's, I mean, probably especially Michelle. Probably Michelle is the person who made it work with the vendor and formed that relationship. So good job with that, Michelle. And I mean, the whole team, everybody who touched this boot. Perfection. Perfect in every way.
All right, we'll see you guys in the next one. I hope you all enjoyed.
Sancho.